Hi, my name's Amy Timlin and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So Katie Taylor took on Delphine Persoon for a rematch, and let's be honest, Katie Taylor did not have to take this fight whatsoever. In fact, Delphine Persoon was set to retire from professional boxing and go back to the amateur system and go fight at the Olympic Games for Belgium. But of course, due to the whole lockdown situation that's been going on in the world, she got a second opportunity against Katie Taylor after Serrano and one or two others just didn't take the fight with Katie Taylor. Now, this is a part two, of course. A lot of people felt that Katie Taylor got gifted a decision in the first fight in New York, which of course was for the Anthony Joshua Andy Ruiz Jr. first fight. So a bit of a robbery there, what a lot of people were calling for. I personally wasn't. But a lot of people were, and then look what happened in the main event. Andy Ruiz Jr. defeated Anthony Joshua. So let's hope this doesn't happen today with Whyte Alexander Povetkin. But of course, for a lot of you guys, you'll be listening to this video now, you already know all the results. But for me, Katie Taylor, in the first two rounds, it's a 10-round fight. For the first two rounds, Katie Taylor, she handled it very, very well. In fact, in round number two, Katie Taylor, her skill and her movement was a little bit over-daunting for Delphine Persoon, and Persoon's right cheek just bubbled up, and there was like a bit of a welt on the left side as well, and a tiny little nick on her eye. In fact, Delphine Persoon, at the end of round number two, coming to three, looked like she'd been hit by a truck. She really did. Now, Katie Taylor, from that moment on, from round number three, was just under the cosh. Delphine Persoon was just chasing her around, mauling her, much like she was in New York. So, Katie Taylor, rather than stick to what her game plan was, which was quite evident in the first two rounds, which was don't stand there and trade, keep on moving, frustrate her, just jab her, move around the body, crack that one. And for some reason, she was abandoning it at times and letting Delphine Persoon into the fight. Now, was there a risk of overtraining? Of course, there was a serious risk of overtraining. But with her being over in America for, what was it, 5 months, I think they said. So yeah, there's certainly a risk of her overtraining, which is one of my concerns about Whyte coming into tonight. But I wouldn't say that necessarily Katie Taylor may have overtrained from one point of view, because it's not like Katie really was gassing, but her timing wasn't great in this fight. But Delphine Persoon, yes, okay, she was mauling Katie Taylor from round number three pretty much onwards for the rest of the fight. But how much of those shots were actually landing is difficult to tell. Yes, Katie Taylor was slipping a lot of those shots and blocking a lot of them with her gloves, but she wasn't landing too much back. She was landing a couple here and there back on Delphine Persoon. And again, let's be honest, the Sky Sports commentary, especially Matthew Macklin, was outrageous. Outrageous in favour of Katie Taylor. We know why. Katie Taylor, she's a wonderful woman, and of course I want Katie Taylor to win as well. So I was just trying to give Katie Taylor every little bit of an edge that I possibly could to justify my decision for this particular fight. But the way that Sky were going on, it's like Katie Taylor was eating like a lot of shots, and she would throw one or two to the body back in the clinch when Delphine Persoon was all over it, and they were going, oh, look at the class of Katie Taylor. Oh, how wonderful she's looking. She's truly an elite, much more technical fighter than Delphine Persoon. We can see that. What a great left shot, and things like that. I'm not talking too much about Persoon, but for me, this result, as I said, from round number three, it looked like it was pretty much all Delphine Persoon right the way up to the very, very end. So did Katie Taylor win this one, as the judges gave her? Well, it's one of these things you really have to watch back a little bit more closely to try and see what kind of shots were actually landing from Persoon. But just watching it as I have, without any kind of like replay or anything, it's a case of, for me, I thought Delphine Persoon won this fight, to be honest with you, by a good couple of rounds. To be honest, I don't think that even a draw would have been fair. But I mean, Delphine Persoon, she wasn't complaining at the end of this fight like she was in the first one. So maybe I was looking at it through some biased goggles. It's very, very possible. But either way, Katie Taylor officially gets the win. In fact, one judge gave it to Katie Taylor by 5 rounds. I'm not too sure how he got that one. Hey, is what it is. For me, I thought Persoon won the fight, but I'm not going to argue with it. It's Katie Taylor, right? Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.